Cosmic Intelligence Agency. Whoops. My husband's arm is still in the background there. I'm a minute early or something here. Like I like to come on a bit early. Whoops, I'm now live. Okay, there we go. Well, how come I can't see myself now? Okay, there we go. Hi, Tara Green here, Agent 129, Cosmic Intelligence Agency. On a bit early here to welcome you to December's astrology and tarot preview. Wow, I can't believe that it's December already, right? I'm sure I'm not the only one. So I'm going to wait a little bit here. See, there's a couple people on. Please say hi so I can see you. I should be able to see you on my phone here, watching on the Cosmic Intelligence Age. So please say hi. Wait a few minutes. Let me know where you are. Comment, please. That would be great to know where you're from and if you're a regular Cosmic Intelligence Agency fan or a newbie here. Okay. So yeah, wait a second there. People are saying hi. I'm up here in Toronto, Canada. I'm Agent 129 for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, which is based in Melbourne, Australia. All right. So, okay. So I want to welcome you all. And if you haven't been here before, I will explain how I work with this. I've been doing these for, I don't know, a few years now. So every month I come on and I'm going to smudge you all virtually here with a bit of Palo Santo from Peru here. I will give an overview of all the planets astrologically. So depending, of course, that's different every time. It's going to be a packed a month. And then I will bring out my tarot cards. And I use this, an overly kind of large, this is a Thoth tarot deck. This is my favorite tarot deck. Hi, Asheville, North Carolina. Hi, Claudette in Sackville, New Brunswick. And hi, Lynn from Australia, Sydney. Okay, great. So I will use my tarot cards here. I will smudge them and I'll use my special crystal. And I'm going to go through each sign, starting with Aries and ending in Pisces. So you'll have to be patient. Okay, you have to be patient until I get to your sign. But if you know your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, and even any other planets in those signs, you can also pay attention to those and see what advice the cards will have for you. So I'm using the 22 major arcana here in the tarot deck. Okay. So the overview, I'm going to start just sort of talking about the big aspects, and then I'm going to go through them in detail. So of course, tomorrow, December the 1st, Neptune in Pisces stations direct at 20 degrees Pisces and change since turning retrograde June 25th at 23 degrees Pisces. Okay, so we may be feeling a little bit foggy. Do pay attention to your dreams because while Neptune is stationary, it will be until the 5th. Neptune is very, very powerful. So it's a good time to, pay attention to your dreams, to work with lucid dreaming, to meditate, to put out your vibrations, to try to connect with people telepathically as well. Okay. All right. So on December the 3rd or the 4th, depending on where you are in the world, of course, the big total solar eclipse, new moon in Sagittarius at 12 degrees, which is right smack dab on the US ascendant. Okay. So it's going to have a big impact in the US. Please join me on December the 2nd. I'm going to be doing a live webinar for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency at 7:30 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, all about deep dive into this eclipse. Okay, so please join me for that one. You can sign up on the Cosmic Intelligence Agency page. It is also, that eclipse is conjunct to something called the Great Attractor, which is a huge space anomaly that's pulling all the galaxies to it. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. I'll take you through a guided meditation into working with the Great Attractor, just like it sounds. It bends light, so we can get some previews about what's coming up ahead. And December the 13th, Mars will enter Sag until January the 24th, so that's good for all fire signs, of course. On the 13th, Mercury also enters earthy Capricorn, so our thinking gets much more concrete and stable and focused on our goals. December the 18th, full moon in Gemini at 27 degrees, conjunct the North Star. And then on the 19th, Venus in Capricorn goes retrograde at 26 degrees plus, conjunct Pluto. So that is going to be a major marker, okay, for financials, for big power structures. If you have planets, of course, at 26, 20, I'd keep it pretty tight, 24 to 28 degrees of Capricorn, that will have a huge impact on you. Okay. It says my live stream is having performance issues, which is kind of odd because I have better quality live streaming here right now. So anyway, I hope you can see me okay. All right. So, of course, Venus retrograde, I'll talk about that a little bit further on. December 19th, Chiron in Aries turns stationary direct as well, and it's been retrograde since July the 15th. On the 21st, it's the winter solstice up here in the northern hemisphere, and of course, it's the beginning of summer down south. So that's a huge marker as well. New gateway, new turning of the wheel of the year. On the 28th or the 29th, again, Jupiter enters Pisces, and it will be there until May the 10th, entering Aries on that day till October the 28th, and then re-entering Aries on December the 20th at the winter solstice. So it's going to be a very interesting year ahead. Of course, we're all going to be doing specials around that too. Okay, so I just want to mention something really important here about this Neptune retrograde. It will take a long time for Neptune to move ahead of its significant turning point degree on March the 19th. It'll take until March 19th, 20th, 2022, around the spring equinox, before it can bypass its retrograde degree, which was 23 Pisces, 12 minutes. But on October the 18th, 2022, Neptune again retrogrades back before that 2312 degree Pisces, and it'll take until December the 3rd or 4th, a year from now, and then it won't take until January 17th, 2023 till we really move ahead. So that's a long time to really, re-going over the ground. Neptune rules finances and viruses, and of course Neptune, Jupiter in Pisces next year is going to be a big thing, big deal. All right. So Mercury in Sag tomorrow, December the 1st, in conjunct Uranus and Taurus. So concrete reality and inspiration don't really get each other on that day. The new moon total solar eclipse, again, is connected to the great attractor and all the major archangels. Neptune is stationary and it's square to that, opposed to Lilith and Gemini. It is a south node eclipse. So we're releasing philosophies and justice and all kinds of Sagittarian ideals traveling, you know what I mean? So Jupiter rules the eclipse from 25 degrees of Aquarius, and then Saturn disposits Jupiter. So it really is a Saturn ruled kind of Aquarius energy on top of that. Okay, so on the 3rd, again, Sun in conjunction Uranus and Taurus. Again, when in conjunctions happen, we're in blind spots, like the Sun is not going to see this change or this chaos or whatever, so it can kind of sneak up on us. On the 6th, Mars and Scorpio sextiles Pluto. Now that's good for Scorpios, of course, or anybody who wants to do detective work or pay attention for some deep sexual secrets and powerful shadows, control issues to come up. So especially pay attention to that Ghislaine Maxwell trial that's going on in the US. On the 7th, Mercury squares Neptune. So again, you can use Mercury with Neptune to define your dreams, your imagination, any kind of creative energy. On the 7th or the 8th, Mars squares Jupiter in Aquarius. So again, the action is to invent, to be free, to do things differently, to march to your own drummer. On the 11th, Venus conjuncts Pluto. Now there's 3 of these conjunctions this month. So this is going to be a big financial event. Okay, so that should be a good one. As Venus is moving ahead, it's a big financial high day. Venus in Capricorn rules wealth, concrete issues, careers, women in senior jobs, and so does Pluto. Pluto is wealth and plutocracy and things like that. So that should be a good day for the markets. On the next, also Mercury sextiles Jupiter on that day. So again, sextiles, nice easy aspects. You want to take advantage to very creative, imaginative days there. On the 12th, though, the Sun squares Neptune. So that's a challenge to stay optimistic. Usually the Sun is very optimistic in Sag. On the 13th, as Mars enters Sag, again, our action is to be Sagittarian, like to be, brutally honest. I'm a double Sag. To travel, to have space, to educate, to learn. That's our passion, is learning, and it's very mystical. Again, Sagittarius. Okay. Mercury enters Capricorn on the 13th, okay, and Mercury will turn retrograde, so I'm giving a little heads up here. January the 14th at 10 degrees of Capricorn until February the 3rd. So for those of you who want to plan ahead, you know what that's all about. Okay, on the 18th, Mercury squares Chiron. So where we feel the most wounded, how can we communicate those wounds or deal with the defenses that we've brought up and really work through them? Again, that full moon, 27 degrees on the 18th. Again, good for people born late in Gemini or late in all of the mutable signs. So on December the 19th, as Venus goes retrograde with Pluto until January 29th, 2022 at 11 degrees. It's going to take until March the 2nd for Venus to bypass her original retrograde shadow period again. So this is a very powerful indicator of a major financial crash. If I had to predict something like that, which I have been doing for a long time, it would be that one, Venus, Pluto. Pluto always destroys, okay? So again, it's going to take a while for people to get out of that, okay? And then again, you got to remember that, you know, Neptune is barely moving and things like that. So it could be hard for cryptocurrencies also, but and fiat dollars and whatnot. But yeah, I would be very wary of that one. Chiron in Aries on the same day turns direct. So, you know, we're going to be able to move forward with all this energy that's been held back for all these months. Also on the 19th, the Sun sextiles Jupiter in Aquarius. So that's upbeat and optimistic. You know, Jupiter always has a good sense of humor. It's the red rubber ball sign of the zodiac. So on the 20th, Mercury trines Uranus. So this is great for generating unique ideas, meeting people in unusual, expected ways, being very inventive, working with groups of people and organizations. The winter solstice, you always stop on the winter solstice. It's one of the 4 major gateways in the year to do ceremony, to plan out the next quarter at least. So it's a good time to set out intentions. On the 23rd and the 24th, Saturn squares Uranus for the last time in 2022. Although that energy, the push me, pull you energy, should I stay or should I go, will be going on into 2022. But this is the last one. So, you know, Saturn ruling Aquarius, Uranus and Taurus, you know, they're kind of not really in mutual, you know, reception with each other, but they're working well together. So Saturn restricts, tests, obstacles, you know, for these new inventions. And then Uranus and Taurus also needs to invent, but doesn't really want to move forward. You know, they're both fixed signs, right? Okay, so a lot of tension, but they can be creative. You know, these tense aspects are meant to help us to, you know, to break through them. Could be chaos if you're traveling on those days as well. Okay. On the 25th, we're at Christmas already. Mars trines Chiron. On the 25th, again, Venus retrograde conjuncts Pluto again. So a double whammy here. Another hit with Venus retrograde again, pulling down whatever the gains were made. Okay. On the 26th, Mercury in Capricorn sextiles Neptune. That's practical and dreamy. On the 28th, Mars in Sag in conjunct Uranus and Taurus. So again, unpredictable things if you're traveling, Mars and Sag, especially by air, be careful. Truth and practicality don't jibe. On the 28th or the 29th, Jupiter enters Pisces for most of 2022. This is going to be a very spiritual, dreamy, confusing, virus expanding, debt-ridden time because it rules financial collapse, inflated oil, and cryptocurrencies could deflate. They did last time when Jupiter entered Pisces, if you're into investing in the market. Mental illness, incarceration, gaslighting, projections, illusions, delusions, mental illness, self-sabotage, oneness, dream healing, vibrational healing, mediums, new spiritual schools being developed because the last time, well, in 2022 in April, Jupiter and Neptune will meet in a very rare, very special conjunction that hasn't happened in 166 years. On the 29th, Mercury conjuncts Venus in Capricorn. Again, so we're repeating this Capricorn energy, rethinking careers and financial goals. I think a lot of people have, you know, gone through a lot of losses and changes. That's Neptune retrograde for the last number of years. So this really kind of helps you to rethink all of this again. Like really, I would say go with a clean slate, start all over again. On the 29th, Sun squares Chiron. Again, it can be financial pain. December the 29th, Mars sextiles Saturn. So it's easy to imagine new ideas. On the 30th, Mercury conjuncts Pluto. Again, concrete thinking, conversations. A good day to make long-term plans just before the new year. On the 31st, New Year's rings in under an upbeat Sagittarius moon. Mercury is at the last degree of Capricorn as well. And on January the 1st, first day of 2022, Sun trines Uranus on New Year's Day. So that could be a kind of a sense of a breath of fresh air there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to smudge my crystal here. I'm going to smudge my tarot cards. So if you've hung out with me this far, hang on. Let me get to the tarot card reading. Okay. All right. So I'm going to smudge my special Herkimer diamond crystal that I use here. So I clear the cards before I work with them. Okay. I've been doing this a long time. 30 years now, actually. Okay. So I'm going to think. I'm going to think about Aries. Okay. So Aries. I've also got a couple extra cards here just to keep it interesting. Okay. So Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. Okay. All right. So Aries, you get the Hermit. So the number 9 here, the Hermit, is about completing things. So Aries, you like to start things, you're initiators, you're aggressive, you're competitive, you got lots of energy. But number 9 is always about stopping because there's really, the numbers all always go from 1 to 9 and then they repeat. So taking stock of things, this is like Virgo energy, Aries. So it would be, relative to your 6th house or, from your sun sign, work and service and health and just, inventory. Take inventory. It would be great for you, before we go into the new year. Remember that Jupiter will also enter Aries in 2022. So it's going to be a big year for both Pisces and Aries. So this is the perfect time to stop and get grounded and listen to your intuition. Make sure you're paying attention to all the details. Virgo, it's perfectionistic, it's organized, it's analytical, it's very smart. So it's like having your own inner wisdom, okay, your gut instincts. It's Virgo, rules the upper intestine. So Aries, learn to stay grounded and listen to your intuition. You may want to change up your health, your diet, so you feel better, you feel stronger. Those would all be good. People like to do New Year's resolutions. Maybe do those ahead of time if you can. But things will start to fall away and complete for you this month. So go with that energy, especially, Venus retrograde, go with that energy that you have to kind of look over where you've been before you can move ahead. Okay? All right. The Hermit. Okay. So Taurus. Okay, so Taurus, let's see what you get. Okay, so again, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. Let's see what Taurus gets here. Okay, Taurus. Okay, Taurus, you get the card of the Sun. So the card of the Sun, of course, the number 19. It's funny, we got 9, then 19. Is the highest energy card of the deck. Of course, the Sun, it can be relating in a way to the solar eclipse on the 4th, the 3rd and the 4th there, but it is the highest energy card in the deck. So Taurus, you need to shine. Okay, you need to exhibit your light. You need to be playful. You can see on the card here, there's these 2 children. This is the innocent inner child, inner children playing together. So whether you're in a sunny place, like you will be in Australia and south of the border, or up here in the north where we get, lots of sun on a snowy day, you have to shine anyway. You have to play. You need to lighten up, Taurus. I know it hasn't been easy. 2022 was really not much easier than 2021. It's more of the same, or even more intense. So where can you shine your light to bring the most positive energy? Let's put it that way. What can you do? What do you need to do to feed yourself to feel positive and upbeat, and not worry and not buy into the fear? It's like, really, I need to see a positive outcome. I need to trust. I need to believe. I need to generate that light and that heat and that warmth myself. So it's kind of like taking it upon yourself to light up your own day, light up your own life. It's a very positive energy. So, if you've been stuck in the mud, if you've been feeling really like, oh, then this is the time to just shift that energy. Okay, do what makes you happy. Okay, if you're happy, you up level the world that way. Okay, so Taurus, you get the Sun. Okay, so Geminis. Okay, now the North Node is at 1 degree of Gemini, and then the nodes are going to shift in January to the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio. So we're ready to kind of finish with the Gemini Sag axis here in the next while. So Gemini, you get the card of the universe here. Now this is the number 21. The number 21, which is the last of the numerals, the regular numerals in the tarot deck. So this is like Saturn energy. So Gemini, this is about, again, things are completing as well in your life. This is in the sequence of the tarot, which starts with 0, the Fool, and goes through all the 21 archetypes of the tarot, major tarot arcana. It comes back to 22, 0 and 22 are 1. So this is where you've gone through the whole journey. I've decided to come back and be enlightened. That's what the 22 major arcana or trumps describe. these stages that the soul must go through until you get there, and you have to come back down off the high, off the mountain, off of the enlightenment, and come back down to earth and follow Saturn's rules, which is, do the laundry and pay the taxes and, pay your rent and feed yourself and all those, manifestation things that we all have to do. So, Gemini, stay grounded, stay practical, stay working, stay, with your head to the practical details. Okay. Again, especially as we're leaving this Gemini time right now, it would be really important for you to look back at what you've been through for the last year and a half while the nodes were in Gemini Sag. Okay. So the more you take responsibility, Gemini, and I know this takes a while until you get there. Usually, Geminis take a while until they're going to really take responsibility. The happier you're going to be, the more you can say, you know what, I did it my way. I take full responsibility for that. And then you're free. That's why the symbol is always this woman dancing free in the universe, surrounded by the 4 major fixed stars. Okay. So Gemini, the universe, the world, it's also a call for you to make your play in the world. Where do you need to show up in the world in a bigger way? It has to do with career because it's Saturn. Are you happy with your career? Stake your claim. What does it look like, for me to be at the peak of my career? If you can't visualize it, then how are you going to get there? Okay. So Gemini, the universe. Okay. The universe is calling you to show up. Okay. So Cancer. Okay. All right. So please be patient. They want Virgos. I'm only at Cancer now. Okay. All right. So Cancer, you get the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess is also like the moon. So this is very much in sync with the energy of Cancer ruled by the moon. So pay attention to your dreams. Really, 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 really important, especially now. Neptune's actually been kind of standstill for the last while as Neptune actually, moves ahead but stays still until the 5th. Pay attention to your dreams. Like really go deep within. It's internal. It is retreating. It's okay for you to look back, to go within, to listen to your intuition in a very deep way. Okay. Don't move forward until you feel you know exactly what the right thing is to do. You'll have a lot of emotional strength right now as well. So this could have to do with boundaries as well. Cancer, where do I need to set boundaries so that I'm not too available, too much nurturing, too much, taking care of everybody else. It's about balance. The number 2, balance. Okay. So where am I out of balance? Cancers generally have a tendency to not be able to receive because they're givers and they need to be needed. So this is what you need to do, some nice things to pour blessings and nurturing and receptivity onto yourself, Cancer. Okay. So it's really important that you do that. Okay. Also, you'll be able to see mysteries that maybe you weren't able to see before, and things will be revealed and cleared, especially family issues. Again, if you're trying to conceive of anything, this is a good card as well, whether it's a child, a creative project, cook something up, move your home, whatever it is. This is a good card to do it under. So the High Priestess gives you that strength to keep going. Okay, so Cancer, you get to be the High Priestess. So it's very important that you work with the cycles of the moon this month, the new moon, that solar eclipse, and then the Gemini full moon as well. So work with those moon cycles especially. Okay. All right. So Leo. So Leo, sun, moon, rising sign, whatever planets you have in Leo. Let's see what you get for this month. Okay. So Leo, you get the Fool. Okay. So this is 0, the counterpart of that number 21 in a way, 0. So brand new beginning, Leo. Okay, so the Sagittarius eclipse is good for fire signs in general. So where do you need to step out in a brand new way? It's almost like, okay, I'm ready to do something completely different, something new, or something that my inner child really is calling me to do. Leo rules the child, rules the heart. So it's really important that you listen to your heart. Again, it's playfulness. It's about not worrying about what other people think. It's about being true to yourself, Leo. It is about fooling around. There's that wise fool who doesn't really care, who lives fully in the moment. There's a freedom. That's what enlightenment is all about, So getting yourself away from, having to play up to what other people's expectations are, which are really just your own projected out. This can mean a brand new relationship, a job, a child, somebody coming into your life that acts like the fool, in the old fairy tales, the king or the emperor in the tarot always has the fool by his side because they're two sides of the same coin. Okay, so do something totally wacky, something that you would normally think is foolish, and follow it. Be ready to jump off the cliff, whatever that personal cliff is. Okay, so the fool, a lot of wisdom there. Be okay with not knowing. Leos can sometimes get into their own egos a bit too much, so it's like okay to say, well, I don't know. And it's okay. I'll just be with it. It's like I can't control everything anyway, so I'll just be in the moment. Okay? So Leo, you get to be the fools, the divine fool, the enlightened ones. Okay, so Virgo. So those of you who wanted Virgo, okay, we're now at Virgo. Hi, good evening. All right, so Virgos. All right. So Virgos, you get the number 14 here, which, in traditional tarot decks, if you know the tarot, this is called temperance. And so it is about tempering the masculine and the feminine, or the opposites. I know there's gender politics these days, but everything, you need polarities because the whole universe works on polarities, black, white, day, night, all of that stuff, positive and negative charges. Nothing would happen without those polarities. So this is where you need, Virgo, to remember that sense of balance in your life. You tend to get a little bit too focused on the perfection and lose sight of, what's the really balancing out point to this. So in this deck, it's called art. You can see art means literally being creative, maybe not thinking about work, and the antidote to being creative would be literally doing something creative, something more playful. It is also the symbol of alchemy in a way, turning lead into gold. I mean, Virgos tend to be worriers. So what is the goal? Where is the gold in all this worry? Worrying is okay. You just don't want to be on constant, adrenal gland, overwhelmed kind of thing, So you want to pay attention to bring balance because it is a card of balance. It also is called the sacred marriage card. So Virgos, this could mean a wonderful new relationship coming in your life. Again, because it's Sagittarius, I would pay attention to the solar eclipse in Sagittarius. Mercury in Sagittarius, it's your ruling planet also. So how can you alchemize or transmute something that's been difficult into something that brings riches? Because there's always like the hidden nugget or the silver lining, or literally it's silver, gold, all of those alchemical metals. But how do you need to bring balance into yourself? The feminine is the intuition, it leads. The masculine is the action, traditionally. So how do I blend those? How do I really love myself? How do I kind of marry myself, okay, to mirror back to me that love, that balance, that companionship inside of myself? And what do I need to be creative to get me out of a funk or a block or something like that? Okay, so it can be working with other people who can balance you out as well. But anyway, it's a very positive card, Virgo. So yeah, you're the alchemist. You get to transmute lead into gold. Maybe you should read that lovely little book by Paulo Coelho called The Alchemist as well. All right, you like to read, Virgo, right? Okay, that's a good one. Okay, 14. All right, so Libra. So Libras, let's see what you've got here, Libra. Okay, so Libra, you get the sign of Libra here. You can see that very clearly. The cards do always work very synchronistically. I think that is demonstrated every month. So Libra, you get to be more Libran. But really it's about bringing in the balance. Okay, I know you're always pulled in two different directions at once. I mean, I have 4 planets in Libra, so you're endlessly weighing things out. Should I do this? Should I do that? And that can make you unable to move forward. So really the key is the middle path. You can weigh out those things, but where's the middle ground? Not going into fear so that it stops you or strangles you, and not being too, Aries kind of like too rushing in, too spontaneous, not paying attention to the details where you can get yourself into trouble. So this is also Libras get relationships, what they love the best. Libras get to be the peacemakers, the go-betweens, the arbiters, the ambassadors, because people are so polarized these days. It's really exemplary to be the middle ground person, to be the person who's kind of sane in all the insanity. So what can you do to build bridges? How can you just listen to people? How can you enhance communication? And how can you, just bring that sense of peace into your own life? So wherever you're out of balance, what brings you peace, Libra? Not necessarily other people. It's like you have to find it within yourself first, okay? So this can also be justice issues that you're dealing with, very literally, Libra. Again, relationship issues are highlighted. Just remember at every moment, am I out of balance? Am I too extreme? Am I getting caught in the prevailing winds of whatever is going on? What's my truth? Because your truth may not be what everybody else's truth is either. Justice. What is the most just thing to do? Now, justice is supposedly blind. So justice can't take sides. Justice is supposed to be blind and impartial. So being impartial is what brings peace. Okay, not getting into the fight, not engaging in the oppositions that we're kind of being forced into. So this would be very wise for you to do, Libra, and it would benefit everybody else too. All right, so Libra, you get justice. Okay, so Scorpios. All right, now again, the South Node is going to move into Scorpios. So Scorpios are going to be where we're going to be releasing all of those kind of issues. Okay, so Scorpio, you get the Hangman here. So the number 12, the Hangman, this is one of the first three, what they call maternal letters, special cards in the tarot. This is like an emotional baptism. So very much for Scorpio, it's about really letting go. It's about really releasing those things that you cannot control. I mean, for Scorpios, they do like to be in control. So, at some point you realize, no, I can't control it. I can't do anything about that. So there's no point in like getting myself into a big, rage or anger or frustration over it. I have to let go of what I can't control and do what I can. Okay. So this is also can be a martyr. And Scorpios are not usually martyrs. That's more of a Pisces thing or a Cancer thing, the other water signs. But, if you've gotten yourself too wound up into something that you just can't get yourself out of, for whatever reason, Scorpios tend to tell stories and, kind of at the, the lower end of Scorpio, they kind of, they get themselves into trouble. Okay. So this is where you have to let go. Maybe you have to come clean. This is an emotional baptism, cleaning the slate, letting go of the past mistakes or where you got hung up in things that maybe weren't really the best energy for you. So a time of cleansing and releasing would be good right now, especially as, again, the South Node in Scorpio, releasing old habits, releasing old patterns, releasing old ways of being. Fixed signs don't really like change, So, but you're going to be forced with it, over the next year and a half, Scorpio. So this would be a good time for you to think about that, to really look at, where you're just hung up in your patterns and you need to let go. You need to let some clean energy in. Okay. The Hangman. So surrender, because really nobody is in control. And no matter how psychic or whatever, I think that vibrations are so complex these days. It's okay to say, I don't know. And actually, one of my mantras is, I know nothing, because that allows clarity and new energy to come through. Okay. All right. So Scorpio, the Hangman. All right. Okay. So Sag. Okay. Now Sagittarius, of course, because the big eclipse is happening in your sign, you get the number 5 here, which is called the Hierophant or the Pope or the High Priest. Now, Sagittarius is related to religion and preachers and things like that. So for Sagittarius, now, it might be that you really need to take your mission seriously right now, because this is where you need to ground it. You need to walk your talk. You need to be practical. This is Taurus energy. So this is not, Sagittarians tend to promise more than they deliver. They tend to be procrastinators. This is where nothing matters unless you can ground it, unless you can speak the truth, unless you can walk your talk, unless you can, manifest what you're talking about, what your ideals are, what your positive energy is supposed to be all about, so don't be a hypocrite. You have to manifest that energy. So you have to have total faith and, manifest what you're looking for, manifest those dreams, manifest those things that you can do, but you really have to make the magic happen. Okay. In this deck, they show this is Isis or the divine feminine speaking in front of the masculine truth. Again, the intuitive truth, throat chakra, all of those issues are very important for Sag right now. And especially because the eclipse is squaring Neptune, it is in a conjunct to the great attractor. I think Sagittarius is really going to have to step up. Again, the South Node is leaving Sag and moving into Scorpio, Taurus. But again, this is Taurus energy. So maybe it's your assets, your material things. It has to do with material wealth, overall, how you make money. It has to do with your own self-esteem. What you really feel about yourself has to be manifested. Where's the practical evidence? Sagittarians, because you're fire signs, you're in spirit, you're inspired, you're inspiring. that this is maybe where you have to write the book and get it published. You know, this is where you have to move forward. So it could be that you're defending someone else as well, you know, with that sense of justice and truth and all that, because even though the nodes are moving, you know, the effects of an eclipse last at least 6 months, okay? And we're ending an 18 plus year cycle here as well. So very grounded, speaking from your higher self. That's what the Pope or the, you know, spiritual authority figure is all about. Again, Jupiter entering Pisces, it will be good for Sagittarians as well, okay? So I would say just really be immovable in your beliefs. Don't let other people's opinions bother you. You know what the truth is. Do not change it, okay? Do what your higher self tells you, okay? All right. So Capricorns. So Capricorns, what have you got here now? Capricorns. Okay, we're moving into Capricorn time. Okay, so you get this very special card. The tarot is based on these 10 Sephiro or spheres in the Tree of Life. And, you know, you don't have to really understand the tarot and the Tree of Life and the Kabbalah that much. I mean, it's very complex. But there is a special invisible 11th Sephira, which is what this one represents, and it is called Da'at. And so I always find, so Capricorns, this is a sign that your holy guardian angel is there with you. Okay, so again, Capricorn, you know, again, that Venus-Pluto conjunction, Venus-Pluto, Venus going retrograde in Capricorn, you know, your higher self, you can be the higher self, you can be the guardian angel for other people. It could be literally like being an angel investor, or you know, a practical angel helping someone, defending someone, supporting someone who's maybe doesn't have as much as you. So it's, I would say it's about giving. It's about being an angel for somebody else in another way. And like there's lots of random acts of kindness and senseless acts of beauty that you can do. So this is about connecting with your higher self. Now, Capricorns tend to be very practical, very down to earth, very hands-on. If I can't see it, feel it, touch it, smell it, taste it, it's not real. So this is going to get you to take a leap of faith to, now the image I'm getting in my mind is like this is turning into a prism. So opening your chakras, working with meditating on all your chakras will help you to open up. You need to listen to what your higher self is telling you. Okay, I think it's going to be really critical in December, again, with those Venus-Pluto conjunctions. And again, remember that the US is going to go also into its first Pluto return. There's going to be 3 of those hits. The first one is February 22nd, 2022. So again, it's all those master numbers. So you need to be connected with your higher self because, you know, I have been predicting, you know, it is going to be Revolution 2.0. The whole thing is going to have to be rewritten. So for Capricorns, you know, you like to have those long-term plans. So really think about what are you going to do? How would I manage? You know, how can I trust my higher self? You know, if the practical physical things get all kind of torn down or are not sure of anymore, or I don't have a job, or what am I going to do, or what's going to sustain me? I can only be sustained by spirit because I'm really a spiritual being having a temporary physical existence. Okay, so that would be a reality check for you, Capricorn, and actually a very good sign. So this is always a big blessing when this card shows up. Okay, all right, but for each person it's going to be different. Okay, each Capricorn placement. Okay, so now we get to Aquarius. All right. So again, that last Saturn-Uranus square happens this month. Okay, so Aquarius, you get the Wheel of Fortune. So again, this is very good, very positive. You should be feeling quite upbeat and optimistic. This is Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune. So for, you know, everybody, Jupiter entering Pisces, one of its traditional ruling signs is a good thing, especially for Sag, Pisces, or anybody who has planets in Sag, Pisces, nodes, etc. So you got to trust. Again, this is back to the trust and the faith. That's what Jupiter's all about, that old time religion. So Aquarius, the wheel is turning pretty quickly for you. You know, don't get out of balance. You need to feel that you're at the hub of the wheel because things are moving pretty quickly. This is where you take a gamble, you take a bet. You know, don't be too don't be too crazy about it. But generally, this is luck. This is Lady Luck working with you, Aquarius. So you want to invent something new. You want to help something that's for the world. This is the Wheel of Time. So understanding the cycles of time. The number 10 is really like the number 1, but with a 0 on it. So initiating something new. Again, Jupiter entering Pisces, which is if you use Aquarius as your sun sign, it will be in your second house of making money and fortune and all of that. So the Wheel of Fortune is a really good thing. Okay. So again, trust that the universe has your back, Aquarius, and it will. Again, have faith that everything is going to work out really well. I would say, okay, buy a lottery ticket, take a risk that you feel you know is going to pay off. Okay. Because it's people that are willing to stick their necks out and be on the cutting edge of whatever's new are really ahead of it. Okay, so Aquarius, Wheel of Fortune, very nice. Okay, so Pisces. I always feel like I've missed somebody as I go along in this one, right? Okay, Pisces, because it goes so fast from my point of view. Okay, so Pisces. Now, I do use one kind of minor arcana in this deck. Now, this is it. This is the Nine of Cups called happiness. Okay, it is the wishing card, actually. So Pisces, you get the wishing card, so you get 9 wishes. Now, especially as Jupiter is going to enter Pisces on the 28th, 29th, you are going to get 9 wishes this year. So think about, how would I use those wishes? Now, it is Jupiter and Pisces on the card. So again, very much, manifesting, it is going to be your best year in 12. I would pay attention to when Jupiter is going to move back out of Pisces and into Aries. So Aries people need to pay attention to, and then, it's going to be back and forth during the year. What do I need to let go? Where do I need to have some boundaries? Where do I need to trust? What kind of new projects can I bring to help people, to help other people, to be the most charitable, the most inspiring, the most flowing, the most spiritual, the most idealistic, but also it's all about helping others. It's all about being connected to others, the nines, you know what I mean? Nobody's alone. We're all interconnected in this, right? So I would say, again, your creativity can be overflowing, any projects, again, this is once in 12 years. Pisces, you want to take advantage of it. So could be new relationships. Your heart should be overflowing, your dreams, your creativity, charity, all of those beautiful spiritual uplifting aspects of Pisces should be very much manifested. The number 9 is about manifestation and completion. So any projects that you've been working on for a while, you need to bring them to completion over this year. Pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to meditating, do all the things. Feed Neptune, work for charitable, work for food banks, do some work for the oceans or, whatever, anything behind the scenes, addictions counseling, all that stuff. But it's a very beautiful card. So Pisces is very wonderful. Okay. All right. So did I go through everybody? Somehow I always get this feeling that I didn't. Isn't that funny? All right. So it goes really fast. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, I did 12 signs. So I'm asking you, if you want to join the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, please do that, because you'll get lots of wonderful free webinars like the one that I'm doing on the 2nd. It's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all about deep dive into the Sagittarius solar eclipse. So it was wonderful seeing you again. I want to wish you the best. I can't believe that this is the last one for 2021, but I will see you. Probably going to do a big thing at the beginning of 2022 as well. So wishing you all the best for this season, for the solstices, the eclipses, Venus retrograde, all of that. So many, many blessings to you all. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.